Every computer on the internet is quietly obsessed with one question, and it turns out to be shockingly hard to answer. What time is it exactly? Not roughly. Exactly, to a fraction of a second, and agreeing with millions of other machines at once. Get it wrong, and things you would never connect to a clock start to fade. It sounds trivial. It is not. Your bank needs to know which transaction came first. A secure connection checks whether a certificate has expired, down to the second. Systems across the world must record events in an order everyone agrees on. Time is not a convenience for a computer. It is the referee for almost everything it does. But a computer's own clock is a cheap drifting thing, a little crystal that runs slightly fast or slow, gaining or losing a sliver of a second every day. Left alone, every machine would soon disagree with every other. So they need to constantly, quietly ask something more reliable. What time is it, really? They ask through a protocol called NTP, the Network Time Protocol, one of the oldest systems on the internet, still humming along after 4 decades. Your devices reach out to a hierarchy of ever more accurate clocks, up to atomic clocks at the very top, and gently nudge themselves back into line over and over all day, so quietly you never once notice. It is one of those systems that works so well, it becomes completely invisible, and I find the invisible ones the most worth looking at. Because underneath this calm, humming agreement about time, there is one genuinely strange problem, a crack that the whole thing has to keep carefully stepping around. Here it is. We keep time in 2 different ways, and they do not quite match. Atomic clocks tick with perfect, unchanging regularity. But our day is set by the spinning Earth, and the Earth is a slightly unreliable clock, wobbling and very gradually slowing down. So over the years, perfect atomic time and real Earth time slowly drift apart. The fix was a strange one, called the leap second. Every so often, to keep atomic time lined up with the Earth, the world's timekeepers add a single extra second to the year, a clock that goes from 23,059,009 to a bizarre 23,05960 before finally ticking over to midnight. A minute with 61 seconds in it. 27 times since the 1970s, we have literally paused the world's clock. And that one extra second has repeatedly broken things. When a leap second was added, systems that had never been told a 61-second minute could exist simply panicked. Websites stumbled, servers locked up, some airline systems faltered, all because time had done something the software swore it never could. 1 second, inserted by hand, against a whole world of machines, assuming time only ever moves forward, steadily. Sit with the scale of that. Not an hour, not a minute, but a single second, added once every few years, was enough to trip up some of the most important systems on the planet. That is how tightly the modern world is wound around the clock, and how little slack it has when the clock does something surprising. The problem grew so troublesome that the world's timekeepers have now voted to abandon the leap second within the next decade, to stop fighting the Earth's wobble, and simply let atomic time and Earth time slowly drift apart. We would rather quietly disagree with the planet than ask our machines to survive a 61-second minute ever again. So the next time everything just works, remember the quiet argument underneath it. Millions of machines, constantly whispering to one another, straining to agree on a single instant, while the perfect clocks and the wobbling Earth pull gently in different directions. The internet cannot quite agree what time it is, and once every few years, that disagreement is very nearly enough to break it. We built a civilization that runs on the second. We are still not entirely sure when each one begins.